the next, I would happily entertain a motion to approve the August minutes.
So moved and written.
All right, is there a second? Matt?
I don't understand. Repeat that, please.
Mhm. We're approving our August minutes. Yeah, and all in favor? Oh, sorry, yes.
Comment that I'm listed as attending in August, and I was for about 3 minutes at the beginning, and the hybrid didn't work, so I really didn't attend that meeting. So if you could strike my name from attendance.
Matt Bose. Yep, okay. Maybe I should push this back here. Okay, so all in favor of approving minutes as written minus Don Leslie's attendance at said meeting? Signify by raising your hand or, yep, and all opposed? Okay, done and done. And next on the agenda, Gary Liskey and the Social Justice Committee. Where do we go from here?
We are going to hand out a survey. It's a pencil if you need them.
Do you have it for the people at home?
I do, and I will explain that in a minute.
Here for you.
Yeah, you don't need to put your name on them. Yeah, I don't want your name on. My name is Gary, and I'm a member of the Social Justice Committee, and we have two other, Terry's handing out some more surveys, and Don's a member. Shaw and Martha, I don't see them online. They're members. Martha has been holding the monthly meetings on her porch, which has been a great deal to do. Another lady named Jewel has been sitting on two of them. If you do want to join us or just drop by and see what we're up to with meetings, just get in touch with us. I'll show you how in a second. Before I tell you how to contact us as a Social Justice Committee, I do want to show people who might not be getting some of our communication that you can go to our website, the Santa Clara Community Organization, and over on the right side of just about any page, you can subscribe. You can see we have 701 subscribers that get the blog. The blog lets you know when the meetings are. We've been having game nights, and it tells you when game nights are. And so that's one way to do it. You can also follow us on Facebook or Twitter by clicking on that. To contact us, we have a header in here, the Social Justice Committee, and just go down there if you're interested and just email us from there. Our Social Justice Committee was officially formed in June of 2001, but we actually had some presentations as far back as March of 2001. 2021, yes. So we've been not quite 18 presentations, but quite a few, and we'd like your feedback through this survey on what you think we should be doing. We did have comments at the last meeting. We don't even want you to present at this meeting, at these meetings. It's not the appropriate place. One of our goals is to educate people in our community, and hopefully the Santa Clara Community Organization at these meetings. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just, you can go ahead and fill this out as I talk you through this. It's also online, or just, I think it just went out on the website. Yeah, it just went out on the website. If you actually wanted to do it via SurveyMonkey, you could just go to our front page and click on that. You'd be there. And you'd see something like that, the Social Justice Committee survey. Real simple. Please check all that apply. I do want to have social justice presentations as part of our monthly meeting. And then I do not want to have social justice presentations. And if you want to share, let us know why there were some comments made last meeting. And then some things that you may want to learn if we go ahead and do it. do more presentations. I want to learn more about the history of race and discrimination in Oregon. And if you remember, we gave I think it was Martha who gave a presentation on the history of Oregon, and why there's so few African Americans in Oregon. And I think a lot of people were surprised at what that reason was. And so we'd like to continue doing that kind of stuff. I want to be in a book group reading and discussing issues about race and equality. We do this at our monthly SJC meeting, Social Justice Committee meeting, and it's quite powerful. I'm a bit emotional about just talking about it, so it's been quite a journey. I want to support the Black Student Union at North Eugene, so nobody would want to eat my cookies, but a bunch of us made cookies and took them down to the Black Student Union because they've been having serious racial problems down there, directed towards them. And we're going to go back October 4th and meet with them, give pizza and hopefully more cookies, and ask them what they want from us, and let them know, this is something I haven't mentioned yet, is that we have a bias response team. So 2 years ago, one of the Asian members of our community had at her house shot with paintballs. And so that our team went out there and helped clean that up. And it took well over a week to clean that up. And if you want to be a member of that, again, contact us through that social rep, the Santa Clara website. I want to participate on ongoing monthly discussion about race and relations. That's something we have to, if enough people respond to that, we have to figure out how we're going to do that. Because we just can't cram everything into a once a month Saturday meeting. We started an hour, now we're an hour and a half because we're doing our book readings together. And it's getting quite long. Plus we have a little social time while we do. I want to watch videos and documentaries. These are passive learning. You don't have to put any effort into it. And if you know the education world at all, it's not a real way to learn. We've had some powerful ones. We showed the hidden figures, little 5-minute clip. And I think that was eye-opening for a lot of people, but it doesn't really get you digging into some of the major issues that we need to talk about that are really in that movie, the entire movie. But it's a fast, easy way to give a presentation. And it's really easy for us because some of these we put a lot of thought into. We did have one that went a half hour one time, where 3 of us gave, there were 3 of us that broke it up in 3 10-minute sections. And that one, for those of you who weren't here, that one had to do with some fairly aggressive confrontations throughout River Road and Santa Clara on the sidewalks at schools, and we're on, we can't let this escalate. We've got to cool it off. I want to meet people. I want to meet people who can share their own experiences with discrimination. That's one of the really rewarding things about having Sean on the team is she'll give it to you, and it's very touching. I'm not interested in any of these topics, so that just might not be your thing. Do you have any other thoughts or suggestions about how the Social Justice Committee can meet the needs of the neighborhood? We've been given quite a bit of autonomy, so one of the things that we have come up with our lawn signs, which we hope to have at the next meeting, and hope to have at some of the game nights next month. But if you have more ideas, let us know. That would be great. Dawn, Terry, any other?
I would just say, please, if you feel comfortable filling this out and handing it in, please, if you feel comfortable filling out the form that's in front of you and handing it to us now, it's anonymous, that's great. If you'd rather do it online, we're looking for input so that we can best serve the community organization. And if you don't tell us, then we don't know. And if you can share, the more you can share with us, the better we can be responsive to what the neighborhood wants.
Terry.
Terry had a question.
Yeah, I'm new to the SACO community and the social justice committee. And I think the biggest thing, just knowing the people that I've gotten to know over the last year, is they are huge bridge builders. And I know sometimes words like, even like social justice and, racial reconciliation are big words, and they're very emotional words, but I know these people. And I think the coolest thing right now is that we're really trying to not just invite, North Eugene High School students to us. We're wanting to go to them and say, what's meaningful to you? What's your experience like? What are your goals? What are your hopes? And that really helps us too. So just along with the Santa Clara community neighbors, we want to know what's important too. So if you can, like Don said, fill it out, give us input. It really does shape kind of what we're doing. And we just want to get to know people, all of our neighbors. So, yeah.
Gary, you have a picture of the lawn sign that was being made?
Not that I can grab quickly.
Very cool, very cool.
I can show you on my cell phone.
Patrick.
My question is around, and I like the questions, but it's like, do you want it or not? There's nothing in between, so yes or no. What is the goal behind the social justice committee? And I understand kind of a lower level, a fact of here's what we want to do, but is it advocacy only? Is it outreach? Is it, I'm just trying to think, what is the goal for it? Because I think it came together as a response to something, and then now we're trying to move out to that. What is the long-term goal of it, or is that what we're trying to find out?
Well, I just want to say first, the education part of it is just a component of it. And to us, it's a big component, and that's why we want the survey to find out if it's a big component for other people too. The first presentation, it really wasn't an official SJC presentation, was, I believe the title was How to Build a Safer Community, something like that. And one later on was how to form a more welcoming community. Two different things. One was, tamping down the potential violence, and definitely, the welcome part is how can we get the kids in North Eugene to lower, reduce the racial slurs and the anti-Semitic stuff and graffiti on it. So to me, it's those two areas that are critical. How do we build this welcoming community? How do we make it a safer community but also from a racial point of view? There's more than a mission statement there, so it's that's sort of like way through mission statements. But any conditions?
Mary says it's not on yet. What do we do?
Showing up there.
Did Gary unshare his screen?
How about now? Is Zoom still open on that?
Can you hear us at home? Anybody on the Zoom, can you hear audio?
I'm sorry, I said audio. It's actually video. I can hear you, but we can't see anything anymore.
Right, same here.
Oh. Is that it now?
That's good.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're back now. So were there any comments or questions for Gary and the SJC?
You want to play tonight?
Yes, yes. Just pass them down. Again, we don't really want your name on them, unless you just don't have to say on there.
Okay, so next on the agenda is the Square One Village fundraiser and our own potential outreach to adjacent neighbors. And so this was something that came up when Square One was here talking about their annual fundraiser, which is going to be September 18th, which is a Sunday. And we, as a group, discussed maybe using their tents, chairs, and tables and having a small dinner for the immediately adjacent neighbors, going around knocking doors, giving them an invitation, asking them to RSVP, and having a meal that we prepare for them at that same site on either Friday night or Saturday night, so that the change to their neighborhood doesn't come to them as one of the land use application notices that says you have 2 weeks to respond to the criteria herein and here's the plan. That instead it's an actual conversation with a representative from Square One and representatives from SACO to be there and to help facilitate an exchange of ideas about how this project meets so many goals of reducing homelessness, providing a leg up and a low rung on the ladder to home ownership for people who don't have that ability in our community, given the rapid rise in housing costs, and creating denser housing along the corridor right by a bus stop with energy efficiency in mind and longevity and ongoing affordability, permanent affordability, which most other projects don't create. So I think in so many ways that we've discussed it, it's a great win for the community, but we also, the vast majority of the people in the room don't live right next door, and it would be a great opportunity for us to reach out and create a little bit of a conversation and build some bridges about that. But we need some more participation, because at this point, Terry, Jerry, and I are willing to help organize it.
Don will.
And Dawn's willing to be there at the event. So it would take a little bit more participation because Jerry can't be at the event. So if anybody's available on the 16th or the 17th of September. Yeah, okay, you don't have to be a board member to volunteer. Anybody who wants to volunteer and help out, it would be a great thing. And if we don't have the bandwidth, we'll end up not doing it because we just don't want to do a poor job. We'd like to do a good job. Can you put your contact?
There's a good chance that people will want to know details that we might not be able to supply. Is there someone from Square One to be there?
Yeah, we would want someone from Square One to be there. It's, you know, we're convening an opportunity for neighbors to talk to the developers, but also for it to be, you know, a celebration of a project. I think that could be a significant positive change in our neighborhood.
They gave us a really good presentation. I think they did answer a lot of good questions, so that would be helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're gonna want to be there.
Yeah.
Can you come up closer and talk into the booth?
Yes.
I'm not sure why you have to provide a meal.
We just think,
Providing a meal.
well,
For how
then,
many people? How many-
we don't know how many people will show up, but
Who are you gonna be inviting? I'm gonna do it.
we're gonna walk around to the contiguous neighbors. So this is at what was Peace Presbyterian Church. So the neighbors that border that, we'd go out and hand out invitations and invite them to, it doesn't have to necessarily be a full sit-down meal, but there needs to be some,
communities.
yeah, we wanna build something
Snacks, how
where
about snacks?
they feel
Yeah,
welcome
I mean,
and
people- I
considered.
feel it's like this huge deal, no one wants, I mean, tiny dinners, I'm gonna, you know, if I was here, which we're not gonna be here, but my first thought is, oh, you bet, I have to like, cook how much? So that to me is like a stumbling block.
Oh, okay.
So right there, it's like, how could we have community without like having to do all the food or something?
So part of it, I think for
That's
us,
my first
yeah,
humble response.
I appreciate that. So I think
Yeah.
it came for us out of the fundraiser that's happening on the 18th for
Okay.
Square One, which is their major year,
Sure.
once a year fundraiser, is this huge to-do with 30 chefs cooking paellas and people are paying $100 a seat, you know, and so there's gonna be
This
all,
is just right in the neighborhood.
that's gonna be there.
And right over At East Christmas.
So,
A block away.
yep.
Okay.
Mhm. So they're gonna have a huge to-do, which
Okay.
I wouldn't expect the neighbors to be able to pay or do that, but we wanted to provide them with their own experience and some information sharing.
I have a question. I really am familiar with the Square One project. Is there a master plan online I can look at?
Really good information on that.
Okay. Where do we find it?
Square One.
Oh, okay. Did you write the things?
I assume that's what would be.
It's the Peace Village. When you go in their site, you'll look for Peace Village.
I was just gonna say that I think that's really great feedback. I think it's awesome feedback, depending on, because I think some of us, no, I think it's important. I think some of us think it's important enough to do it even on a small scale to make sure that the neighbors have information, like Kate was saying, that it doesn't just show up for them, because so many times people, I didn't know, I didn't know that this was happening. And I think it's important, we're just trying to partner with Square One, get the word out to neighbors as part of the Santa Clara Community Organization. Maybe we could talk about something scaled down a little bit more. I was just gonna say, I don't know that I need to be this close, but I was gonna say, I can call Square One and see about somebody being here, and also take names of anybody else that wants to volunteer so we can kind of coordinate. So, and if you're joining us via Zoom, maybe you can put your information in the chat if you're interested, and I can contact you.
It's gonna be fun.
That's the idea.
And
Well,
it looks like somebody put a link to the Peace Village website in the chat, so that'll be in the recording too, I think.
Yeah, they did. Okay. So we'll move on from that, because anybody who was going to volunteer has now raised their hand. All right. I'm still game to continue down the path of manifesting.
Okay.
So whatever that's for. Okay. So let's see, the Navigation Center down at River Avenue has not yet opened, but, and it has to do primarily, they're ready to open and they have clients selected, but they're having issues with their insurance. But in the meantime, we're still working on our community agreements. So a good neighbor agreement that they're, the Equitable Solutions, I think.
Equitable social solutions.
Equitable Social Solutions is the entity that's actually operating the Navigation Center. And they want to work with River Road Community Organization and the Santa Clara Community Organization to create a good neighbor agreement. So it lines out sort of behavioral expectations, where to submit grievances, how those things will be handled in advance of anything happening. And we need a volunteer from the Santa Clara Community Organization who wants to be the point person for our organization with that process. So I'm looking for somebody to volunteer, and if you show the slightest bit of interest, I'm conscripting you, because I do not have the bandwidth to do this and to continue to do this. So
I'll recuse myself from that because I see it on the county side, so I do have that information that I can share as much as is needed.
okay, well, you know,
On the chat.
I'm looking, but nobody's put in their volunteerism yet. So the downside to not having somebody is when or if things might go sour, we're kind of out of the loop. So it would be really great if somebody wants to step up, but I understand if everybody's as busy as everybody else. Okay, anyway, for the time being, I'm going to continue to try to represent us, at least in drafting the agreements, but they're looking to create a citizen advisory committee which has representatives from the adjacent businesses, the county, the city, ARCO, SACO, and I think it's 12 people, one from each of these categories. So we just really need one human being willing to do the work.
Kate, I suggest sending me a little,
Okay,
we'll post it, you know.
okay. And the next is the new business of adopting our group agreements in their revised edition. Take it away, Gary Gillespie.
This is so sneaky. For those of you who have the yellow one, open it up the inside, yes, and use it as a fan.
It certainly makes sense to me. I haven't read it.
Does anybody need to?
Are we gonna be like?
What are they?
Yes, there's going to be a vote. It should be really fast.
Was this,
Okay.
is going to be this.
So in 2009, we adopted group agreements. And if you look at the side that has both the old and the proposed, you'll see that on the left-hand side, the ones in red, they start out kind of negative. So they can put people in a negative mindset, especially if they're antagonistic people to begin with. So on the right-hand side, all but one are flopped, and they start with the positives. So one says, don't dominate the discussion. On the right-hand side, it says, speak, then yield the floor. Don't dominate the discussion. So the change is just flip-flop from a don't, parent, to a little, lead with the positive. Do I hear a motion to
There's a question or something.
the question? Is there a question?
Do you have to, are we doing Robert's rules where you have to, we can't discuss it until.
You can discuss it.
All right. Have you thought about instead of saying don't, say try not to or something?
I
And
haven't.
that's really the fine point.
Yes, that would be for a future meeting.
Try not to. Try not.
I would even do it.
Anyway, I'm
Attempt to avoid it.
there really isn't more. To say.
Yeah.
Besides all the work.
And even different ones. Yes.
So anyway, you want to approve this?
Do I hear a motion?
I make a
motion to approve that version.
And I second. My name is Betsy. That's all.
In the vote?
Betsy.
Betsy.
Betsy, second.
Okay.
Okay.
Any discussion from the chat, people? I'm looking.
Yes,
Lucky
yes.
John.
Just if it's discussion time, I think this is a great improvement. I think this is a nice improvement. Thank you.
Great job.
Yeah, it's good.
Simple.
Yeah. Okay, all in favor of? Excellent. Anybody prefer bad behavior? No hands. Okay, moving along. Announcements, updates. So updates, games in the parks, going swimmingly. For anybody who isn't aware, we are hosting game nights in neighborhood parks every Tuesday night from 5 to 7. And so far, we have visited Wendover Park, Arrowhead Park, Bobolink Park, and Filbert Meadows Park. Upcoming Tuesday is Ruby Park, which is Lee, Matt, and myself. So that looks like it's well staffed, unless you guys are backing out. Okay, but the week after, we've got Terra Linda Park, and we don't have anybody signed up yet. Terra Linda's on the east side off River Loop 1. And yes.
I don't mean to interrupt, but, so don't interrupt, but, and maybe I can wait till we finish talking. Or else I could ask my question now.
Go for
Did
it.
you happen to mention the Silver Meadows Park?
Filbert Meadows.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sorry, my fault. So if there's anybody who wants to volunteer for Terra Linda on September 13th, and then we'll have Ferndale Park, which we have Mary Leondovich and Matt, so we're still looking for a third person there. And September 27th, there will be Lone Oak Park, and we only have Louis so far. And the last is Aubrey, and we only have Jerry Moore. So we're still looking for people to volunteer. It's a lot of fun. You get to show up, meet neighbors, play games. I generally show up and help set it up anyway, and then if I can walk away, I'm thrilled. And if I can't, I stay and play. So And there's ice cream bars. Terry,
I'm with Terry on.
all right. Okay, so you can send me an email, or you can phone me, or you can set up smoke signals, and I'll know that you want to help host.
Might be able to do another one. I'll check.
Peter Thurston, not on the call. Oh, yes, you are. Community garden, Peter.
Peter?
Peter Thurston, have you left the room?
Hello.
Garden update.
I'm right here. You want a garden update? Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, yes, yes.
I can tell you it's still there. That's an interesting picture. Anyway, the garden, we just rented a plot to a new garden. Ta-da! So we have one more plot that is available for another garden. That's it.
Excellent. So for anybody who doesn't know, that's the community garden is behind St. Matt's Episcopal on River Road up near Spring Creek Drive. And that's a lovely place to go visit. They have a labyrinth you can walk in, and the garden is beautiful. It's worth a visit, even if you don't want to be a gardener there.
And there's quite a bit of information on the neighborhood website.
Absolutely. Okay, Tim Felker, the foundation, please.
I don't have much of an update, although I've been attending the game nights on Tuesdays, and we've collected some names on our sign-up sheet and disseminated some information about the foundation. And we'll update you further when news occurs.
Can you give us the 10-second, this is what the foundation is? Because there are people here who don't know.
There is no 10-second thing. Santa Clara Community Foundation, a brand new 501c3 nonprofit organization in Eugene, responsible for funding community-related projects that enhance our livability in Santa Clara.
Thank you, Tim. Always looking for board members and supporters. You can find more information on the website, communityfoundation.org.
And Kate is the project
Okay.
manager of the schoolhouse project. And do you have an update on that, Kate?
I have no progress made on that. I've been queen of the game nights.
Someday.
Party down.
All right, report from the River Road Santa Clara Neighborhood Plan. Would you like to report?
I just keep seeing these things appearing from the city about reaching out, and so I don't know if there's anything that they've been able to collect, or
Fill out your survey. You want to fill out a survey.
there's a survey. And there's a survey for everything.
There's no survey. Posted 5 city surveys last week.
We are, have finished the visioning phase and the policy writing phase, and we are and the action plan phase, and now we are moving into the adoption phase, where we're trying to firm up the last details of the plan. And one of the big details that we keep getting hung up on is the draft code language for the River Road Santa Clara, the River Road corridor study, which isn't finished yet by the consultants, and so hasn't been vetted in ground truth for the parcels we're talking about on the corridor. So we're waiting for that, and then we can do significant community outreach, hold a couple of really big events in Santa Clara and River Road, and try to unveil that to neighbors and get their feedback. But in the meantime, if you want to be on the River Road Santa Clara Neighborhood Plan email thread so that you get the information as it comes out, or you can also visit it online, River Road Santa Clara plan.org, and there's tons of information there. Basically, the plan is the guiding vision for how River Road and Santa Clara neighborhoods are going to grow and change over the next 30 years. Everything from transportation, to parks, to natural resources, to economic development and traffic and safety and all of it. It's all in there. So, well, there will be more people. We're not building walls. That's not part of the plan, but how to accommodate people and maintain our unique character and enhance our livability and all those things at the same time. That's the plan. I encourage you to get involved. There's lots of place to get involved and provide feedback at this point, and that would be great. And if anybody wants to hold a small meeting amongst their neighbors, if you can convene 10 families and you want somebody from the citizen committee that's been working on this for the last 5 years to come and give a presentation and collect feedback and stimulate conversation, we're looking to do those kinds of things. If you have a group or you want to convene a group, let me know, and one of us will come and do that. Okay, Friends of Aubrey Park, Whiskey.
First, we're party there October 1st. It's Saturday from 9 to 12. I will not be there, so please support Jessica. She is the official adopter of the park, and she would love your help.
Fantastic. So October 1st, you said.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. The only land use action for the last month is St. Vincent de Paul's Green Lane Apartments, which we had them out last month and then in March to talk about their 10-unit development on Green Lane for veteran housing. So that's moving forward, inching its way along through the land use process. Any other updates that people want to share? Anything from the Zoom audience?
Remind people to give me volunteer hours. Gary has already done that.
Jerry Finnegan would like people to submit their volunteer hours. So if you're doing voluntary work on behalf of the community organization, doesn't matter if you're a board member or not, we like to log those and provide them back to the city so they can justify helping support neighborhood organizations do their outreach and their work by being able to quantify the kind of benefit they receive for the dollars they put out, which I think, if I got that kind of benefit for the amount of work we put in, I'd be old.
If you give me your hours, kind of detail a little bit about what they're about, because I have to put them in categories.
Would you like to please write up what those categories would be and we could send it out to people so they can?
No, it's just so easy for me to say, okay, this is A, this is B, this is B.
Okay.
It's so easy for me to, and they don't have to make a decision.
Okay.
What's the letter for the SCCO meeting that you get credit for?
A.
So everybody can get credit for these meetings. So, hey,
So I think that's all we have for business tonight. We are always looking for more, if you have ideas for a program or somebody you think we should invite, feel free to let me know. Or if there's a hot and burning issue you want to see us tackle. Otherwise, thank you very much for being here. Oh, Patrick.
Just a comment. If you don't want to get involved in any of the groups for the corridor or anything like that, understandable. But at least read the information and have some knowledge about it, because there's a lot of things that are going on. There's a lot of misinformation out there. People say I never get X or Y. At least be informed, at least let other people know what's going on, because there's a lot of things that have been happening over the years that this group has been involved in, and people say that it's never happened. So just a lot of good information out there. Take a look, spread the word.
There are many people in this organization that have put in a huge number of hours, not 100 or 2
for years.
That's what I was going to ask her. How long has it been that she's been doing this, and Jerry, and how many other people at those meetings? And what did we do before that? Remember, we used to meet every week, and so there. You're right. The stuff that's being thrown out there is so without knowledge, because the commitment of individuals in this room is amazing, and it is in the benefit of this organization or this community. It's not. There's nothing biased about it. It's for the good of the whole. And River Road has done a good job of working with us. And I just so support what you say about helping people understand the facts, not the BS that's going around, because it's so bogus. Thank you.
I want to give a plug to Gary and Tim and whoever's on the website, kind of along those same lines that all the information pushes you guys do out across every social media platform and on the website. My family went to the Irving Grange for the car show, had no idea that it was even a thing until I saw a Santa Clara calendar event that said Irving Grange car show. So appreciate that and all the other information, even the 5 surveys last week. That's it.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Good night.